prospecting. Everybody knows the first fundamental. What's the first fundamental? Can someone tell me that?
Prospect.
Who's been here less than 90 days, or let's just say 6 months? Raise your hand, please. 6 months. All right. So the first fundamental is prospecting. All right. And I'm talking to everybody, but I want to talk to the new people here. All right. So obviously, I was sitting down with a broker that I recruited, like my very, very first recruit. Remember Gus? So we had big, right, on his board. He goes, contacts equals contracts equals cash. So I laughed at that. Well, prospects equals life apps or recruits, which equal what?
Cash.
Cash. We want to get paid here, right?
Yes.
Right.
But we got to talk to people. Everybody thinks that we're going to get paid and we don't have to ever talk to people. This is a people business. If you don't like talking to people, we'll take a class on how to talk to people or something. So the best place to prospect, which is where? Well, your hot market, all right? Once we run out of that hot market, right, it's your recruit's hot market. That's the best way to do that. So if you're still new here, especially if you haven't written big premium, if you haven't done a lot of interviews, you guys should be talking to whether your friends, your family, people who know you, or some of your recruits that, you go through their list, right? Daniel talked about the 8 o'clock meeting, you get a top 25 list. I think get a top 50, get as big of a list as you possibly can. I'm talking to everybody, because my whole thing is I need codes, I need licenses, I need people who can take me. Well, the reason why Daniel wants people in butts in chairs is to recruit people. Why? So we get on more kitchen tables, right?
Right.
We get on more kitchen tables and recruit more people to get on more kitchen tables. That's the whole point. Simple. More people equals more kitchen table presentations for you to sell, recruit to get on more kitchen tables. You guys got that so far? Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Anybody lost so far? You got that, Jacinda? You're new, so you need to be paying attention to this job, right? All right. So after that, right, we referrals are good. Referrals. Everybody know how to get referrals? Does everybody know how to get referrals?
Yes.
All right. So for you new people, it's all about questions. I feel that if you don't ask effective questions, you're not going to get effective results. I really believe in that. I've listened to Hector Lamar. He is amazing at asking questions. Daniel, who controls the conversation?
I do.
That too.
The person that asks the most questions.
That's it. And the first person to give up, starts throwing up, always loses. So you ask questions. So if I already got the life, I got the check, right, and I don't recruit Maricela, do you feel I did a good thing for you today?
Yes.
Question, right? She said yes. All right, so if I was, maybe you sent me in the direction of something that you care about and I helped them get completely debt-free, how would they feel about you about that? Just for referring me, how would they feel about you?
They would feel good about it.
I asked a question, she gave me the answer, right? And if I were able to take their situation, like let's say the retirement, took more money, would that be a good thing for them? Question, right? They would. They probably love you for something like that, right? Do me a favor. Can you text her real quick? And I'll do this. Can you text her? Just tell her, hey, my financial guy is gonna give you a call in about, I don't know, maybe today or tomorrow. Just please take a 5-minute phone call. Can you do that for me? Because people get, busy. They forget. So I want her to do it right now. So she does that. Then I call. Hey, Maricela. I got your number from Maricela. Did she tell you I was going to give you? I think she texted you.
Yes.
So, I was able to help. I put this plan together for them, help them get completely debt-free. Right, put more money into help them out with a lot of their financial services. I wanted to get together with you to see when we can meet. I may actually be available today or tomorrow. So we set up an appointment like that. Fair enough? You guys got that? But it's all about asking questions. Some people, you could just ask as well, but do you see how much more effective that was by asking questions?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. You guys need to get Hector Lamar. There's 2 CDs that I've been listening to. I always listen to. It's called Recruiting Tips and then Building/Recruiting. Those are the 2 Hector Lamar CDs that I love. That's where you learn a lot of questions. Okay, so then group presentations. Everybody should be getting group presentations. I believe you start where you work. All right. See, I didn't have a job, so I didn't really have to look for group presentations. But wherever you work at, talk to HR. If you guys have to believe that your intentions are good, that what you're here to do, they're good things, dude. Everybody wants to do business with you. Everybody wants to get involved with you. You gotta believe that. Okay, if you guys don't believe that, then nobody's going to do business with you. So it starts with you, really. And then, for people who've been here a little bit while, I do everything. But one of the things that I had to get really good at, just because I didn't have a big warm market, I didn't have, a lot of people, because I didn't really have credibility, so I had to reinvent myself. I went suited and booted, out and about prospecting. I meet people. I pick up, me and Jaime the other day just racking up names and numbers. That doesn't get you paid, but a certain amount of contacts that you get on a daily basis turns into a percentage of how many people you're going to sit down with. Right? The higher the percentage of the people you do a presentation, whether it be a recruiting presentation or a selling presentation, they're going to turn about instead of converting to how much production you do. All right? I knew that December was everybody's going to be mentally checked out in December. All right? So I knew I had to rev that sucker up. I wrote $1,500 in premium. I'm not excited about that, but I knew that everybody's going to be mentally checked out. So I had to talk to a lot of people. I had to, constantly making phone calls. I remember there was one day we got, 20, 25 numbers a day? Some of you guys don't even do that a month. Or you got to be on it, talking to people. But the only reason why I knew that, and I had to start fast and early, like the first week, the second week, because I knew come Christmas, nobody was answering my phone calls. So I just went to their house. I didn't even call. I just did Popeyes. Hey, I'm here, what's up? We're going to do life application. You need it anyways. Straight up. I didn't care. All right? And there's 3 reasons why you're not going to prospect. 1, you're scared. 2, you're lazy, and 3, you care too much about what people think about you. So there's only that's the fun, by the way, why you're going to fail in this business. And if you say, I don't care about what people think about, you're lazy. Well, I'm lazy. Well, if you say, no, I'm not lazy, you're just scared. It's one or the other. All right, I learned that because that was my little barrier in the beginning, and I had a tough time overcoming that. And I read the 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. I'm not saying reading books is going to make you successful, right? Because you have to put action behind it, but it's going to get you prepared to take the no's, to go through the rejection, to get your dreams stepped all over, all that crap, right? One shot of rejection is either going to make you or break you. How you deal with that is how much you self-improve.
Jonathan, what's the third one again? Of the 3 reasons.
Well, 1, you're lazy, you're scared, or you care too much about what people think about you. Right? I mean, you think Daniel cares about what people think about him? You guys think Daniel Alonso cares about what people think? Heck no, right? So I got to make $1 million. They're going to pay you $1 million to not care about what people, not for you to not think about what you're going to get paid big money because you don't care about what people think about you. Got it? See, so when I'm talking to someone, hurry up and tell me no. So I can want the next person to tell me yes. I don't care, dude. Shit, I'm not going to see my life again. All right, so how do I go out and about prospecting? You heard it in the meeting. He can ask you a question. What did he just do? That's what they always do. And if they don't shake your hand, I don't talk to you anyways. All right, straight out. All right, okay, so my name is Jonathan. Are you familiar with the area? Hello? If I'm actually one of the recruiting and training managers for an insurance company out here in Ontario. Would you happen to know anybody looking to maybe make more money part-time or even on a full-time basis?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay, so at this point you might you might ask me something, right? Ask me, okay, so what would you do?
So what do you guys do?
Yeah, well, like I said, we actually help people with their insurances, and then I give a little bit of information and ask a question. Who controls the conversation?
You.
Questions. Yes, we help people with their insurances. Do you have any experience in that?
No, I'm not.
Wonderful. You know what? What I find people who do have experience, it's really, really tough to retrain them. You're going to be you're someone I'm really interested in talking with. I'll tell you what, or you might say, yeah, I have experience in that. So say that. Wonderful, dude. That's actually really good. It'd be a lot less training involved. So I don't care what the heck you tell me. It's like, oh, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to say first. I tell you what. I have my phone's right here. Let me give you a call so you can save my number right now, dude, and we'll go ahead and get together at a later time. Fair enough? Get his number. All right? How long did that take me, by the way?
2 minutes.
Right? And Daniel says you got to get 3 numbers a day. All right? So that's 3 minutes of your life. Are you kidding me, dude? And some of the full-timers here are only getting 4 or 5 names a day. That's 5 minutes out of 24 hours a day that you're spending full-time. Are you kidding me? All right, even if you're part-time, do this 5 minutes of your life. Can you guys do that?
Yes.
All right? And the only reason why you're not is you're lazy. Or you're scared, or you care too much about what he thinks about. I'm too scared, but I'm too worried about what he thinks about me. When in reality, man, I'm trying to look good in front of this guy. Man, he's looking for a job or something, right? That's what he's probably thinking. All right? So 5 minutes. Imagine, so you get 20, 25, it's only take you 25 minutes to do that. Really? Realistically, that's working. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
All right, so then here's my follow-up call. So it was funny, I was telling Savannah yesterday, it's like, you know, I've been practicing this because I talk to myself a lot in the car, and I'm like, man, okay, I'm going to do this. This is the result I'm expecting. And it's funny because it went exactly the way I wanted to. So I call her up, right? And I go, hey, you know, I met you yesterday. I'm actually going to be in your area today or tomorrow. You know, what works best for you? And she already knew I didn't have to go into anything else. She said, well, I might be available tomorrow. Perfect. She lives in Paris. When's the latest I can maybe just stop by, drop off some information to you, right? You can take a look at it, you know, and if you're interested, you give me a call back, all right? She said about 8:30. Perfect. No, I'll be very, very convenient. I know you got kids and all that. You're busy. Let me go ahead and just grab your address, right? Instead of having to bring it to the office, I have her address. Because if she don't answer my phone call, what am I going to do? Oh, that sucker. She has kids. She's married, right? So I'm going to change her damn life. So I'm meeting with her today, by the way. So I'll tell you, you do a follow-up call, okay? The last one, I mean, you can do cold calling, you can do door knocking. I like door knocking. One, you know, is more for production because you're straight out, right? They tell you yes or no. You want to get something or not, right? How I do it, right? It's like, hi, you know, I need the doorbell or knocking the door. Hey, how you doing? My name's Jonathan. I wanted to introduce myself to you. I was with most of your neighbors, and I was able to save about $500 a year on their auto insurance. You know, like I said before I took off, I wanted to introduce myself to you. And question time. I mean, if you get the same company, right, and save $500 a year, that's like a no-brainer, right? You would want to do that, right? It's like a tie-down right there, right? Everybody says yes to that question. And at that point, they're going to tell you yes or no. Most of the time, you're able to give a quote, lock the sucker in, right? Do a life hack. You guys learn something?
Yes.
And that's all I got.
It's done.
So how you all doing this morning?
Great.
Awesome. You motivated?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Well, what we're going to talk about today is one of the 7 fundamentals. And we have to master our presentation. Would you agree that mastering the presentation helps you to get yourself?
Yes.
Absolutely. And the presentation that we do 100% of the time is what? What type of presentation? Sales or recruiting? Recruiting presentation. We do not teach sales presentations. We teach recruiting presentations because the mindset should be you go in to shoot for the recruit and you miss with the absolutely. So that is the presentation that we do. So if someone comes to you and they join Primerica, I just want to sell life insurance. Well, that's great. We'll teach you how to do that. But wouldn't it be great if you had about 5 or 6 other people doing it as well?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we do recruiting presentations. So always keep that in mind. We do recruiting presentations. What we're going to do, if you have your process book, because we're teaching from the process, if you turn to page 45 in the newer book, you have the older book plus or minus 3 pages. Okay, somewhere around there. We're going to talk about our presentation itself. Some preparatory things. Before we get started, we're going to do role play today. So it's not going to be just me talking. We're going to actually do role play. We have some wonderful actors straight from Hollywood that just came down specifically for today. Okay, we have Jerome and Nelson Butler. They're going to be our actual clients for that matter, or prospective clients. And we have a trainee, Marcella, who's going to be up here with me. If we can find a chair, we might have to grab your chair. So those are going to be our actors today. So we want to give them a hand, all right? All right. Hold on for a second. There you go. I'll call you up. Some preparatory things. First of all, on a training appointment for you trainers, okay, for new people as well, specifically for you, a couple of things. Give your trainer information on the people you're going to see. Why is that important? You want to gain credibility with that person in the first 60 to 90 seconds. Why is that important? Because if they like you, they'll buy from you. If they don't like you, won't buy. I don't care how great your presentation is. I don't care about your overcoming objections. They'll find a reason not to buy from you if they don't like you. So it's important to get information about your client before they come. So that's new recruits, that's your responsibility. Just don't give them a name and they're married home with kids. Great, but what about them? How do you know them? How long have you known them? What do they do for a living? What do they like? What are their dislikes? And you go in armed, already knowing them if they're your friends already. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Credibility, those are little things that makes it important. Number 2, coach your new recruit prior to going in on how you all are going to be a team going in. They're exchanging their credibility for your know-how. So it's important that you're a team. So never have a new recruit inside of the new person's, unless they live there, of course, but inside of the new prospect's home. Why? Because they start rattling off at the mouth and they jack up the whole presentation. Okay, so it's important that you all go in together. And it's important for your new recruits to pass the baton to your trainer. What do I mean? They love you, you have the credibility. You must pass that credibility on to the trainer and lift him up. Support him and protect your trainer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay? So teach them before you go into the presentation. These are the little things you need to do. Have your recruit meet outside the home. Dress appropriately. Don't come in your work clothes if you're in construction, going into an appointment. Dress appropriately. You don't have to be in a suit and tie, but dress as if you're ready for business. They have to see something different about this, about you coming. Okay? See a professional look that you should have as you walk into the home. The last thing, mindset. You have to have a mindset that you're going in to recruit the person. So a couple of things you should say to yourself that I always say to myself. Number 1, everybody likes Joe Burrows. That's what I say to myself. Everybody likes Joe Burrows. Everybody likes what I do for people. And everybody needs what I have. You gotta say those things. It's like going into the game. You're psyching yourself out, right? You're getting ready to play. I used to play basketball. Getting ready to psych yourself out. You're going into the game, you're getting hyped up, or you're bench pressing, you're getting ready to push this weight. You say, yeah. You gotta go in. You gotta line it up before you go in, knowing what the outcome is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. With that, I'm going to have Jerome to come up and have him sit here. And I'm going to have Marcella Viramontes to sit right here, my trainee, and we're going to get started with this. I'm not going to have stuff. All right, tools. Before we begin, here are the tools that you're going to need to have with you. Presentation book.
You want to pull it out of it? You just come.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Presentation book. All right, your presentation book could be your iPad. You can download the latest off of Daniel's website onto your iPad, or you may want the actual presentation book itself that you can get from Jeff Roper. Okay, have that with you. Your trainee must have something to write with. This is a training appointment. Their whole focus is to make sure that they're taking notes and training while you're doing the presentation. A good idea would be to have them have a recorder that's open so they can hear the presentation. That's a little thing. So now they can hear it, especially if you had a great presentation and you overcome a couple of objections, they should be listening to it over. Now you're duplicating yourself, exactly what Daniel did. Okay, without a bunch of CDs, one CD, one MP3 could be the tie to getting that person confident because he heard the presentation. So record it. That's a little thing. That's a secret. I'm not going to charge you for that. All right, have a recorder on the presentation. All right, makes sense. Everyone should have the VBS sheet. All right. There are really 6 parts that we should pay attention to on the actual the process of recruiting. Again, that is on page, what did I tell you?
45.
45. Page 45. process, number one, there is rapport building. Number two, you're going to have your value-based selling sheet. We do value-based selling. Value-based selling. Yeah, that's on page 46. Number three, be able to perfect your story. This is how the process is broken down. Be able to tell your story in 2 to 3 minutes max. Not 10, not 15 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. Your story is powerful in 2 to 3 minutes to give the key points. If you do not have a story, look at how your F&A helped you. That could be the start of your story. Your F&A. Or somebody else's F&A could be that story as well in a third-party process. Have a story. The reason that reality shows work, people live vicariously through the lives of other people. So have a story to tell that sounds real. So that story is important. Just don't gloss over it. Perfect that story. You all have heard my story numerous times. I perfected my story. It's effective every time. Perfect your story. Qualifying questions. Make sure you ask qualifying questions during the presentation. You want to be reflexive. All right? Not just reading and not listening to them. You want to be able to listen, so you have to know your presentation. And number 5, more importantly, you're deciding whether you're going to go the fork in the road. At some point in time, if you're not getting buying signals for recruiting, you're going to go for what direction? The sales direction. After you miss with the recruit and you hit with the sale. That makes sense?
Yes.
But we always want to hit the recruit, okay? Because then you have sales. And in 6, the credibility page presentation, you want to have that ready and prepared over that. 7, your F&A input sheet. You have to have that available. And, of course, that one-page presentation. So this is all in the process. If you're going to read anything differently, just make sure you have that prepared. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and get started. And we'll take it from there. Sounds fair? All right, any questions before I begin?
No.
All right, Daniel, what time do I have? How many minutes?
You have about 35 left.
35. Perfect. 1 hour to recruit a person at an appointment. So you set a 6 and an 8. At that 1 hour point, you're done trying to recruit them if you haven't put pen to paper on that idea. After 1 hour, you're shooting for the sale at that point in time. And you'll be able to get them again. If you have a recruiting process, you can get them on the carry back of the F&A when you bring it back. Or when you go back and get referrals, you can always have that in mind to go back and get that recruit later. Okay, so make sure it's 1 hour. Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Great. Hey, listen, you know, I have Marcella here, and she says some really great things about you all. How do you all actually know each other?
Well, Maricela and I work together.
Interesting. Well, I heard some really great things about you. You've been teaching for almost 30 years, over 30 years. Almost 30 years. That's phenomenal. I mean, effective, really teaching. Yes.
She's my mentee.
Your mentee.
I'm working with her.
Wonderful. And Mr. Jerome, I heard that your name is in the Staples Center somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what you do?
Put it all over the place.
All over the place. I like you love what you do.
I do.
That's good. That's awesome. All right. In the first minute, what did I do? How did I know about all that? She told me. Building rapport in the beginning. So, what are you doing right now, Nelson?
Well, right now I'm retired.
You're retired. Now, of course, you want to do things that remain retired. Am I saying that to you, correct?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Did you use more money in retirement?
Of course.
Absolutely. What
There
am
are
I
trips
doing?
and things we can do.
I'm asking questions. That's right. Asking questions. That's great. I hear you like taking care of your garden.
Oh, definitely. I like watching things grow just like I enjoyed my children, my students growing.
They're awesome. That's wonderful. Jerome, what do you like most about what you do?
Well, most I like is just basically dealing with new people, talking to them.
Dealing with new people. Okay. Great. And what do you like the least about what you do?
Well, really, it's the hard work.
The hard work.
I really don't like to work hard.
Okay. Well, you like to work, but you don't like the type of work that
Yeah,
y'all
you
do.
know, the heavy construction part of it.
That's right. And as you get older, is that something you want to continue to do?
No, not really, you know, I'm kind of looking to kind of make a transition over to something less physical.
Something less physical. Well, that's great. Well, I'm glad we're here today, guys. Number one, I want to let you know that the trust that you have to yourself and Marcella, we're going to maintain that. And I want to just thank you for the time to allow me to help her train at this training appointment. Number two, we're expanding like crazy. And I'd like to show you an opportunity, possibly, maybe an alternative. If, if you're open to exploring new things, sounds like you are, I'd like to share that with you. I think I'll be remiss not to show you some things we're doing to this and show you how to make this work. Does that sound fair to you? Sounds good. Absolutely. Before I get started, I don't want to assume anything. I like to ask some questions so you get to know me and I can get to know you. You mind if we start there? Sure. Fantastic. Can I get the common spelling of your name on your left?
It's J-E-R,
And Butler. And Nelson.
Ann is in Nelly, E-L, S is in Sam, A.
Thank you. Okay. What is the most important thing in your life to you right now?
family.
Family. Absolutely. And so, let me just ask you a question. You won the lotto, Powerball, and how would your life be different in these areas? What things you would buy? What things you would do? How would your life change if you won the lotto, you had time, and now you have all the money? What are some of the things that you would do? That's awesome.
Pay off our mortgage.
Pay off the mortgage
First,
First
get
get
first.
first.
Just get rid of that mortgage, get rid of the mortgage.
What else?
Yeah, probably, invest.
Invest.
Maybe buy like a vacation home.
Vacation home. Any particular place?
In Jamaica.
Away from there, but maybe we have to buy 2 vacation homes.
Two vacation homes.
Because I definitely like the snow, so it has to be somewhere that snows real hard.
Okay. All right.
Right.
What else?
Our grandchildren's college education.
Okay. So let me just ask you a question. If you could only do one of these, the other 3 were impossible, which one would be the most important to you?
I personally, and I know people agree, we would invest into the future,
To invest
making sure we have a nest egg for the time.
after that's saving more money. That's very important too. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important is that? 10.
Do you agree?
Okay, because you can do all the other things if you had more money.
Right.
Is that correct? Now, sometimes this is a training point, so I'm going to talk to Marcel. It's very important that you talk to them about what's important to them, because then that way you can help them. Okay, does that make sense? Say it right in front of them, because it's a training appointment, right? You said it's a training. That's how she set it up. It's a training appointment, so you should be training them. Okay, so we're back now. So let me just ask you a fundamental question. Are they paying you enough money right now to achieve all the goals you just mentioned for your family? Specifically, the investment. No, not you.
Not close.
So tell me, how much money would you need to earn annually to live the life that you just described?
500,000 a year. You want a vacation home in the snow, and I want a vacation home in Jamaica. 500,000.
So, will it be okay if we just let you know? You say 400,000. Is that fair? That's fair. At least it's a little bit more, and slightly less, but the quality of life will change. That's 400,000. That would be.
Okay, I'll settle.
So 400,000. When will your current career profession allow you, the income you need in order to realize your dreams? Just 400,000.
Oh, that would never happen.
Never.
No.
Never. So let me just ask you this. Let's explore this option. if I could show you a legitimate and viable way to realize your dream income, would you take advantage of it?
If it's legal, yes.
I'm saying this, there are really 4 ways to make money in America, legal ways to make money in America. We only want to talk about those 4. Okay, we ain't going to talk about the illegal ways.
I'm from Jamaica.
That's right. So we'll stick with that. So great. So listen, guys, I think we have something here where we can probably help each other. And what I want to go into right now, real quick, I want to take 2 minutes to just share how I got involved with this. Now is my time to kind of share a little bit about this. Sound fair? Okay. So blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to teach you how to tell a story. 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'm shutting up. You'll no longer hear about me. It's going to now be about them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
2 to 3 minutes. At the end of that, something that Jonathan taught us, I'm going to ask a question. So can you see how my life changed through this process? Yes. And through this process, I was able to save more money and help more people. You want to ask a question so you can take control back of the presentation and keep it moving. Okay, so don't just talk and shut up and move on. Ask a question to bring them back to where you want them to be so you can move through the presentation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So I want you to ask yourselves 3 questions. Okay. Number 1, is Primerica credible? Number 2, are the solutions that we provide for families, are they life-changing? And 3, who do you actually care about enough that should hear about what we're doing? And what I'm going to ask for the benefit of ourselves, if the information that we provide, if it's helpful, if it brings value to you, that you provide her with 10 to 15, introduces to 10 to 15 people just like that. And of course, they can make up their own mind. Does that sound fair? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and give you a sheet that you can start jotting ideas down right away. And as I go through this presentation, you just ask yourself, who are the first 3 people that are on your mind? You mentioned your kids and grandkids, of course. You have a son and daughter that recipient of that. Who are the top 3 people that come to mind right now? Just first names only.
Damon,
Danny,
Kevin,
David, Kevin,
Duke.
Duke. Okay, very well. Very well. So Damon, see Mary
Yes. With children.
with kids. He's a homeowner.
Yes.
Okay. Works.
Yes.
What about Danny? Danny.
Kevin,
Kevin, yes.
not a homeowner,
Okay.
but works,
Works.
has children.
Children. Okay. Works. And you?
Married, children.
Okay. All right. You work.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. As I go through the presentation, I may interchangeably use their names as I go through to kind of make, break things a lot. Do you have any in mind, Jerome, yourself? Do you have top 3 that you care about? Of course, these are your kids, but any.
Kids, I have a couple of people that work with.
Okay. What are their first names?
One name is Jose.
Jose.
And the other one is Jeffrey.
Yeah. Jeffrey.
And that's all.
That's all for right now? Okay, well, great. Now, is Jeffrey married?
Yes.
Homeowner?
Yes.
Kids?
Yes.
And what about Jose?
Same.
Okay. See, just have to find the words. Just in the presentation. You see how it works? Yeah. You never run people this. So, guys, that's great. So, listen, I want you to ask yourself those questions. And what I want to do now is, in my presentation, I want to share some information with you. I'm going to talk about, you put it right in front of you, becoming debt-free. We're talking about retirement, as you mentioned, which is important to you, protecting your family and increasing your income. Which 2 are the most important to you right now? And if you can serve with these.
Yeah, that's good. And I would like to go with retirement.
Okay, can you serve with for me?
Retirement for me,
Okay,
and also increasing my income.
okay. And else of which to report to you?
Protecting the family and increasing my income,
Okay.
our income.
Hours. I'll make sure I keep that in mind. Our income, hours.
Yes, we're a
Hours.
team.
You're a team? No. Okay. I want to kind of lighten things up, okay, in the presentation, without being too over the top, of course. So these are the three things that they want to hear about. Okay. So very well. Listen, guys. I'm going to talk about real quick as a company. I'm really excited to really share this with you. And just for your time tonight, we want to be able to offer you something here that will probably most likely, this complimentary, put another $100,000 to $200,000 in your pocket. And you use another $100,000 to $200,000 in your pocket. Yes, absolutely. But we're going to go over that. And we're going to be able to offer this tool to you, just complimentary. Does that sound good?
I like it.
Okay, awesome. The company is Primerica Financial Services Company. Have you heard of Primerica?
I think so. I think someone gave us a card one time.
Okay. Well, excellent, excellent. Well, the company has been around since 1977. You can hear we're a New York Stock Exchange company, a lot of credibility. We're on the Russell Index 2000, meaning we were the top stock in April of 2010 that year. We have over 100,000 representatives right now in the company. We're the largest financial national marketing institution in North America today. 6.3 million clients, and also now over $35 billion in assets under management. That's fancy word for a lot of people trust us with their money to invest in each and every day. And you see all the periodicals there that talk about our company itself. And just based on the level of credibility that I just shared with you right now, if you have a problem doing business with or working with a company of this magnitude. Okay, great. That's important. If they say no, and you have your iPad, there are a couple of YouTube videos that take about 2.5 minutes to show to make sure you get an answer of yes at that point in time in your presentation. You can do that. All right. It's the Consumer Federation of America, which is a DARA organization out of D.C. You can show that, what they're doing with Congress to try to help the middle class. You can show them that 2.5 to 3-minute video. So you're not saying anything about the company. Let the news say everything about the company. Does that make sense? Or you can show another article from Arkansas where they're trying to increase offices in the state of Arkansas, one of the cities there, of an RVP that's there, want to open up so many offices. So just credibility. So you ask that question, why? Because that's what we ask in it again. Does that make sense? All right. So guys, here's what we're going to talk about, is this. What we find, I want you to think from a business perspective. Are people struggling financially? Do people need to make more money in this day and age? Yes. If that's the case, do we ever run out of people to go see? Nope. Absolutely not. However, the reason that I think that is, and what most experts have found, is that most people don't plan to fail, they simply fail to plan. Would you agree with that? Absolutely. So we found a solution. The solution is a financial needs analysis, and that's what we're going to provide to you today. This document is complimentary, it's confidential, and it's customized to your actual needs. And what this document does, it talks about savings management, income protection, debt management, and increasing your income. It talks about the goals for different areas. So if you had a document like that can show you where you are now, but get you where you need to go in the future, you think that has a lot of value? Absolutely. And we'll be able to provide that to you today. Does that make sense? All right. So this is how we help a person. This is what we do. We're going to sit down with you. And what's his name? Jennifer, Duke and Jennifer. So right now, the example here is John and Hannah, so that's Duke and Jennifer. Okay. Duke is 31 and 29. I want to show you where they are right now with the financial needs analysis. They want to show we can come up a little bit. We can't see everything. Okay. All right. But don't do it for the purpose of the camera. Okay. All right. Good. Make adjustments. Make sure that your recruit can actually see. As you can see, they have some debt they're trying to get rid of. Now, do you all have debt?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we're trying to get rid of that. If you didn't have it, you save more money, correct? So we'll put a strategy together for you. But they had some debt. $30,000 in debt. It's going to take them 37 years to get out of debt. Okay? And if we add that to our current age, it's not good, correct? All right, so now we were able to use one of our tools, and we're able to get them, buy down their principal, basically. We reduced their principal to $15,000, and their payment from they were paying was $1,200 to $590 for more money, and now they'll be out of debt in 3 years.
Amazing.
Can you get excited about that?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, can you imagine helping Duke, who in a situation like this, helping get here? How would you feel about that? Pretty good. How would you feel about you?
You love me even more.
Absolutely. You better, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bigger Christmas present.
The other thing we look at, too, is that a lot of consumers buy the wrong kind of life insurance. So they have the wrong kind. Or they're paying too much for what they have. So, look, $200,000 on each of them. And none of the kids, and they're paying about $350 per month. We determined that they needed more for their family. $100,000 is what they needed each to make sure that if something happened to the breadwinner, that they would be okay. We look at the difference for $123 versus $350. Is that value? Saving them $227 back into their family. Is that phenomenal? Can you get excited about that? So I'm going to ask the question again. I know I'm repeating myself, but if you can find 10 people that were in this situation, how many will want to be in that situation? All 10. Absolutely. So, I mean, literally, it's impossible to fail if you're in the right market. Would you agree? Absolutely. It's impossible to fail. The next situation, retirement. They told me they had a 401k, and they thought they were okay. Okay? But they weren't okay. Look at the situation. They had $30,000, and we determined that by the time they're ready to retire, 30-something years later, $107,000 for retirement. Can you live on $107,000? Maybe 6 months, right? So the analysis determined that they needed a better rate of return on their money. So we're able to do that and look at the difference. $624,000 versus $107,000. Is that life-changing? With no additional money. So if you were able to do, how many people will want a better interest rate on their money? And if you were able to provide that, how would you feel? This could get really exciting. I mean, visualizing Duke, visualizing Damon, and who else was that? Kevin. And Kevin doing this would get pretty exciting. Would you agree? Absolutely. So listen, guys, here's what I want to share with you is how the company compensates you for helping people like Dane and Kevin and also Duke. For helping Duke get out of that debt situation, they'll pay you on a part-time basis $738. For that insurance product, just switching that insurance product to something a little better, more effective. I'm sorry, I did that correctly. That's $197 for that debt, about $200. $738 was helping them with their life insurance product, and for that retirement, a total of $217 the company is going to offer you for helping them with that situation. That's a total of $1,200 for part-time work, 85 hours of work. Isn't that pretty exciting? Yeah. You think you take 5 hours away from the garden to do this?
I'll give up the
Exactly. You get pretty excited. So, guys, here's where the money is really made. The freedom is really made on a better commission level, okay, a higher level. The higher level is at a regional vice president that you now own in office. And so let's say, for instance, that I'm getting started with you. I'm due, and I want to get started with you, your RVPs. And here's the difference. Here's what you would do if you were an RVP. As an RVP, you would make, what does that number say? Bob?
It's 2,300.
2,300 versus 12. Which one is more sexy? Absolutely. Still the same amount of time of work. That can be pretty exciting, can't it? So now, here's where the freedom comes in. Say you train someone like me. I want the same lifestyle that you all have now. Parents will have advantage and take advantage of it. And I get started. You train me, you coach me, you teach me this process. Like we're learning right now. By the way, this is her position right now. You know she's not saying a whole lot, correct? She's just learning. Can you learn for about 30 days? Yes. Absolutely. And after 30 days, she's going to be rock and roll. All right?
That's right, that's right, baby. That's right.
So look, I get her trained, get her up to speed, or get me up to speed, and I make that $1,200. Now you're off in Jamaica with your garden. With your garden. And the company is going to give you $3,000. That's $1,100 because I was trained you train me. Then I get really excited.
Oh, yeah.
So how many of me would you want if you knew you would get $1,100? Absolutely. They could get pretty close to the 400,000 that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
That can get pretty exciting.
Yes.
Absolutely. So guys, so listen, folks. Primerica is the greatest part-time opportunity ever for an average person like myself, and for all of us. So if I can train you, coach you, and mentor you, do you see any reason why you wouldn't give this a shot?
You said part-time?
Part-time. Maintain security of your current job.
That works.
Okay? Well, listen. You have to be qualified. In order to do that, you have to do a background check. Can you pass the background check?
Of course, I have an education. I better.
Well, I'm going to ask a couple of background questions. You can take it from there. Does that sound fair?
Okay.
All right. So, at that point, all right, that took me about 20 minutes, and that's with explaining. I'm going to pull the IDA out, and we're going to fill out the IDA. If you have your iPad, you can put it right there directly on the iPad, okay? Now we've got that done, okay? The next step, because maybe I have an 8 o'clock appointment, what are the Joe Burrows going to do? Joe Burrows is going to go ahead and get them protected. Because what I promised them in the beginning was the SNA. So, hey, listen, guys, now we got the IDA done. We're going to come back and we're going to get you started on the business. We'll give you a CD. Okay, here's the new recruit CD. I want you to listen to that. And the first 3 people we're going to see Duke, Damon, and Kevin. Does that sound fair? All right, so I'm already set up for her to go, because she told me the people that she loves. So I'm collapsing the time frame. I'm not going to have time to do 25 names listed, maybe. I may come back and do that, but we're all going to set appointments for those 3. Now I'm going to protect her, because that IBA is not going to do anything for them if we don't protect them. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what we want to do is go ahead and get your plan started, your business plan started, which is that FNA that I promised you. And who has the best handwriting?
I do.
Okay. Let them participate in the process. So I have them fill out section 1. You can fill out section 1 for me. I don't need social security numbers. We can start there. Okay. All right. That's the process. That's the presentation. I've gotten everything done that I needed to do. I am going to set 3 appointments with them. I'm going to set 3 appointments with them right there on, pretty much right there on the spot. We're going to do their F&A. I'm going to get them protected. And that's how that's going to end. And then I'm going to put it up on Google. After I get done in my car, off my phone, I'm going to upload Google, and I'm going to say what I wrote that night and how excited I am for that one recruit from Marcelli. And we wrote up whatever. And then I'm going to the next appointment. Does that make sense? Yeah. What questions do you have? Since we have a moment. I think I have 5 minutes to spare.
Joe, I just don't think I can do it.
You don't think you can do it? I totally understand. And a lot of times when we're starting something new, it takes some learning to be able to do that. Totally understand that. So let me just ask you a question. What do you do right now?
I'm in construction.
You're in construction. When you started construction, did you ever think that you would be good at what you're doing now, doing it for 30 years plus? I mean, it's pretty easy, correct?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's
piece
like,
of cake,
it's
right?
a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But does someone have to train you and coach you to do it?
Yeah, I had to go to a lot of training.
A lot of training to do it, because if you had to do it by yourself, you'd probably fail, right?
Right.
Well, here, I tell you what, putting together houses and drywall like you're telling me that you can do right now, I don't know if I can do that in a million years, but I'm sure in over maybe 2.5, 3 year period, you can probably teach me and I'll get pretty good at it, right?
Right.
But we don't have 2 or 3 years, do we? Now, these are just words. Now, the words are, I teach you everything to say. I teach you everything to do. I'll walk you through the process. You're quiet for 30 days, for crying out loud. Can you do that? You see any reason why you couldn't do that?
No?
Okay. So I'll tell you what. We got to listen. I don't know if you qualify or not, but let me ask you a couple of background questions. Take it from there. At least we'll give it a shot. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Fantastic.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, do I have to give you the $99 right now?
Let me ask you something. When can you have it?
No, I don't know. Probably about 2 weeks I get paid again.
Not a problem. That's not a problem. I will fill everything out. And actually a couple of background questions to take it from there. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and fill it out now. Welcome to the team. And we'll just get it turned in a couple of weeks. But we're going to get started right now. Because the most important thing is me teaching you the skill. Once I teach you the skill, you have, 2 weeks up on how to learn this. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's get started. We're not going to let money be an issue.
Okay.
This is only $99 for crying out loud, right?
True.
Yeah, so we can help you out with the $99. So if we get you on appointments, we'll make that happen. We'll get the $99. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Listen, let me just tell you guys something that you don't understand. I've been doing this for a little while. You all have what it takes to do this. You all are superstars. You're credible. You've been in the jewelry business for so many years that you understand sales. The 99 is impossible. Don't even worry about the 99. We're just going to get you started, get you trained, and get you on your way. Because that's what you want anyways, right?
Sure.
Let's make it happen.
Sure, I need to pray on it.
Need to pray on it? Okay. Now, it's very important. It's very important that we do pray on it. So let's go ahead and pray. Listen, I do that. I actually do that. I'm a strong Christian. I'm going to do it right there. By the way, before we do that, what are we going to pray about? I'm serious. What exactly are we going to pray about?
Well, he asked me.
I said it was me.
So what are we going to pray about?
I just want to pray to see if I should be doing this business to begin with.
Okay. All right. You know what? I think we ought to pray about that. That's very important. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that prayer. But are you really asking whether or not you can do it or whether God has permitted you to do it? Which one?
Probably that I can do it.
That you can do it. So if I can train you and coach you and show you how to do this, like from your last career, someone had to show you how to do that.
Right.
Correct? Did you have to pray over that job? Or did you just fill out the application?
Well, I fill out the application, but I still prayed on it.
You did pray on it?
If this is the direction that I should be going in my life.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I want to pray about.
Does God want you out of debt?
Yeah.
Does He want you to suffer?
No.
Does He want you to take care of your family?
Yes.
Do you think there's some verses in the Bible that support everything I just asked?
Yes.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right.
Prayer's been answered.
That's a great job, Joe. Great job.
Or I'm drying.
That's bad marketing. You manage that, and they don't have a car. The best thing you can do in that case is take your losses, hire them anyway, do the best you can, but go get another person. That's the answer.
That's it.
If they say they don't have a car, they have to be qualified. So.
All right, everybody, let's give it up for Joe Burrow.